Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV and to another episode of Barcast Daily. Today we have a special episode featuring a 2v2 between some of the top players in Bar. So let's go ahead and get into the replay and I'll introduce our players. Spawning on the left hand side of the map, playing as Team 1, we have Dolphy and Scapegoat. And their opponents spawning on the right side of Comet Catcher, we have Team 2, StarDoM and Snide. So I want to give a shout out to this user submitted video and to Big Dolphy here, who was kind enough to let me cast this replay. I'll link in the description his YouTube channel and Twitch, so y'all be sure to check out his channel if you're not a subscriber and show him some love, guys. So yeah, thanks Dolphy and to Drip for submitting this video and giving me the chance to cast this 2v2. So I know you all have been encouraging me to cast some more team games, and definitely not something I kind of forget about. It's a little more difficult to find some high-level 2v2 games that are, decent enough to cast. So thanks for being patient in that regard, and really looking forward to casting today's game. So you can take a look at these players' opening build orders. Looks like Dolphy's going for the 2 mechs, 2 solar collectors into Bot Lab, and Scapegoat, his teammate, has gone for the 2 metal extractors, 2 solar collectors into vehicle plant here. So good job diversifying their unit composition here, going for the vehicles and bot opens. And their opponents, Team 2, looks like StarDoM's gone for a pretty similar open. I'm assuming he went 2 metal extractors, 2 solar collectors into bot lab. And his teammate Snide went for the vehicle plant rather, and is just continuing to add on economy with his commander. So great job, both teams going for their decent unit composition, I suppose, or unit diversity here. You have a little bit of an interaction here. This one rover is trying to find some damage, taking some pot shots at this construction bot here. I don't think he's going to be able to get too much damage done. Looks like Big Dolphy's grunts were able to clean up that scout before taking any more damage. You can see on the right side of the map, Scapegoat has a couple of rovers looking for damage here, so not sure if he's going to be able to find too much damage. We have 1 sentry turret. It's already up for Snide, and looks like these units are going to get peened by Snide here, and we have a grunt already in position to kind of shoo away those rovers of Team 1. So no damage really in this early game, and we see both commanders of Team 1 moving to the center of the map, so really important to kind of control this space here in the middle, gain control of these mexes and cap them for your team so you get that eco. More units on the battlefield, and notice this small little difference here. We see StarDoM's already pretty far forward with its commander, so left the base a little bit early and is playing rather greedy. We already have 3 construction bots assisting this bot lab here, so great job getting that extra build power here on the board quickly, and kind of foregoing some of those early harassing units for a more greedy open. I kind of like that playstyle myself. Really kind of put your opponents in the position of getting some kind of damage done. Otherwise, you're ahead. And looks like he's already going for an early construction turret, so might as well look at these player views for now. We see Snide just sitting on this 1 vehicle plant for now. He has 1 construction vehicle assisting that and has moved into the middle of the map with his commander. Meanwhile, Team 1, see Dolphy's commander sitting in the middle of the map, adding on a metal extractor, and has 2 expanding construction gangs, so really like this style. He's got 2 construction bots adding on metal extractors here, and 1 construction bot on the far side, bottom left side of the map. He's going to be adding on a LLT and then capping these southern mexes, so really cool to see. Meanwhile, his teammate, Scapegoat, just sitting on these 2 construction bots in the construction vehicles in his main base, and has 1 expanding construction vehicle moving to the top left side of the map. So pretty cool to see how these players choose to differ in their opening build orders and their expanding style. And it looks like Team 2 is a little quicker to the middle of the map here. We can take a look at the statistics. Looks like they're just about 400 metal produced behind Team 1, 4 minutes 30 seconds into the game. Not the biggest deal, just about 4 tanks worth of metal. And StarDoM has got quite a bit of Static defense and radar already put up here in the middle of the map, so he's a little bit ahead of his opponent as far as getting some kind of static defense put up. And meanwhile, Dolphy just adding on a couple solar collectors, using that build power of the commander to increase his economy as he sees fit. Got a little bit of a skirmish down here on the bottom side of the map. Some blitzes going up against the grunts. Those are going to get shooed away. And looks like StarDoM was able to sneak past a couple of grunts here into Scapegoat's main base. Takes out one metal extractor before losing those 2 grunts. So nice little trade there. Sure that's worth it. Sure that's worth it over some period of time. And it looks like Snide is going to try and dive on this commander here. I'm not sure how well that's going to work for him. He loses 2 tanks to a D-gun, 4 more to another. Wow, that was a great shot. Just getting Dolphy below 50% HP, but really at the cost of about 7 tanks. So not the best trade. That's going to trigger Dolphy to kind of counterattack with these grunts. He's going to find an opening here on the bottom side of the map. He's going to end up catching this construction vehicle and possibly find his way into the back of Snide's main base here. So we'll see how much damage these grunts are able to do. They end up retreating, running past this LLT. I'm wondering if this LLT is going to be able to clean up these grunts. We see 2 go down. I think a repair would have been good at keeping that alive. But take a look at any action. Looks like StarDoM has got some of these rocket bots out already, so he's going to be picking away at the static defense. He's going to take out 1 LLT if he can target it. For those of you who don't know, these radar signatures have a wobble to them, so even though you're able to see these structures, the AI can't really target these moving, air quotes, LLT turrets as they wobble under the radar signatures. So it looks like these grunts on the bottom right side of the map are still getting some damage done. Got another run by here on the top left side of the map, top right, trying to find some damage. Looks like these units are completely surrounded by the grunts of StarDoM though, so these blitzes are not long for the world here. Take out 1 metal extractor. Can they get any more damage done? Looks like these grunts are doing a great job of cleaning this up, so no real damage getting done by those blitzes that run by. Still here in the middle of the map, these rocket bots are taking out more static defense, pushing Scapegoat back. It's losing radars, losing LLTs. And that's some great value from these relatively inexpensive aggravators. So you really just need to take out 1 LLT, if I'm not mistaken, for those to pay for themselves. These rocket bots are about 110 mass apiece. So yeah, you just need to take out 1 LLT for those to pay for themselves. And then any additional value you can get is just straight money. See some more blitzes, finding them way into the back lines here. Gonna take out a couple more metal extractors, perhaps another radar here. And these rocket bots are making their way south towards Dolphy's side of the map. He's gonna take out 1 solar collector. He's gonna get another LLT here, so great job using these early game rocket bots. And here in the bottom right side of the map, look at this cheeky grave robber is gonna res this sentry and these fallen grunts. So great move here. See one of these pounder tanks getting caught out here in the open. It's gonna go down to the blitzes of Snide. And I'm gonna try my best to keep up with this action. And if y'all like these daily casts, if you like seeing these 2v2s, leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be sure to bring y'all some more daily casts. Looks like we have a little bit of a run by here in the bottom right side of the map. And StarDoM's commander is so far forward. What are you doing, man? You're running into static defense here. Is he trying to maybe suicide into that production here, but ends up losing his commander and gifting this 2,000 mass wreck to Big Dolphy. So Team 2 reduced to the 1 commander here. Snide, you got to protect this guy for the rest of the game. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what StarDoM was doing with his commander, but you know, he's better than me, that's for sure. Maybe he had some inclinations to kind of try and take out all this production and solar collectors here of Dolphy with his commander's explosion, but wasn't able to do so. Take a look at these player views for now. We see Team 2 StarDoM's got a lot of grunts, a pretty big army here in the center of the board. Looks like he's moved on to 2 factory production. He's got the bot lab and vehicle plant, producing his own medium tanks. Excuse me, his own incisors. And Snide has moved on to 2 factory production as well, so giving up a little bit of map control here in the center to kind of reconsolidate his forces, I suppose. Get up some more build power. Can take a look at Team 1. Looks like Scapegoat is finally starting to field some of his own artillery, so he should be able to kind of push back the static defense of StarDoM himself. He's got a couple of Janus out as well, and these are going to be really good at kind of defending any forward pressure. StarDoM stepping forward to try and take out these artillery. He's going to run into some Janus missiles here, and that's what's going to happen right now. So looks like StarDoM's pressing forward with his grunt army into these medium tanks. I'm not sure how well those are actually going to trade. Looks like he thinks better of it. Pulls back a little bit. And we have a little bit of a run by here on the top side of the map. See a couple mines here on the bottoms. A couple of mines already laid out, so that dealt with a couple of these light tanks here, but looks like Scapegoat's going to lose a couple of metal extractors. Not sure how much more damage of those are going to get done heading towards the main base of our yellow player. Take a look at the action. Looks like Dolphy was able to sneak a couple pounders here into the bottom right side of the map. He's going to take out a couple of mexes here. Not sure how much extra damage he's going to get done. We see these incisors are kind of making their way to clean those up. Meanwhile, on the left side of the board, these incisors are continuing to get damage done. So took out a medium tank. I see a couple solar collectors went down, another metal extractor. And these tanks aren't long for the world. They're all pretty low health, so I'm sure they're going to get cleaned up pretty quickly. Meanwhile, we have an engagement here in the middle of the map. Dolphy stepping forward, trying to push this green player off of this middle part of the map here. And that's going to trigger StarDoM to move down with his bulk of his forces here and reinforce his teammate's position. See a lot of grave robbers out here for both players, and we have this one single pounder tank in the back line. Still has yet to be dealt with. And looks like that engagement is going to go towards Team 2, so they push Dolphy back. He's forced to retreat, and that's going to give these grave robbers a lot of resing to be done. A lot of metal here. 2,000 metal sitting just in this reclaim field alone. So definitely something to contest over, but Scapegoat sees an opening here. He's got a lot of medium tanks, a lot of artillery here, making short work of these LLTs. And a lot of those grave robbers go down to those artillery shells, so not what you want to lose to those slow firing, slow moving shells. We have another little engagement here in the center part of the board. These grave robbers are getting so much work done. Not sure why they stopped raising there for a second. I think our Snide player is a little bit low on E right now. He's kind of stalling that for now. He can't utilize these grave robbers to the best of their ability here. And meanwhile, Scapegoat's pushing on the top side of the map, so just shaving off a couple of metal extractors, looking for some damage. That's going to force StarDoM to kind of shoo this away. And Scapegoat doesn't want to donate that mass to his opponent, so he rightly pulls back with these medium tanks. And I'm wondering how much of this army he's going to lose. You have a little flanking force here from StarDoM, taking out some more of these tanks here, so really shaving off a lot of Scapegoat's army there. And meanwhile here on the south side of the map, Dolphy stepping forward with his army here. And these grave robbers are trying to suck up this metal as fast as they can, so really want to control this reclaim field for as long as you can. And are these grave robbers going to go down? Yeah, they all go down to just a couple tank shots, so not what you want. You need to protect those units for the to get the most value out of them. You see on the bottom right side of the map, this mine layer is putting some of these light mines down. So that's going to make cleaning Dolphy out of this entrenched position a lot more difficult. It's even expanding to his opponent's side of the map. And looks like Dolphy's moving on to this air production, so he's going to be making some shurikens here. Meanwhile, Scapegoat stepping forward. He's trying to get a commander snipe here. Are these shurikens going to be able to save the day? No, so Team 1 loses a commander. Evening up the game here. We have one commander left for both teams here. And that was a lot of mass donated. We see so much mass sitting here in the middle part of the board. What is that? 6,000 mass, almost 7,000 mass for the taking here. Quite the reclaim field to contest over. Looks like Scapegoat has it for now. You can see he's got a couple tanks just guarding this position here, defending it from any cheeky grave robbers trying to sneak in and get some damage done. Meanwhile, Dolphy stepping forward with his grunts and shurikens. He's going to be picking off some of these tanks. Going to be EMPing some of these. Are going to get taken out by the grunts, but grunts are not that effective against these tanks. We can see just how strong they are against these Tech 1 bots here. Still have a decent reclaim field, and we see Dolphy has got one grave robber reclaiming all this mass here in the center. And meanwhile here in the top middle side of the board, we see StarDoM's fielded 5 more grave robbers here, so he's trying his best to reclaim this mass here in the center, but I don't see his standing army anywhere close by, so these are going to get killed by just some LLTs and artillery shots. Meanwhile here on the south side of the board, we see Dolphy is stepping forward a bit. That's going to trigger StarDoM to move south with his standing army and help out his teammate. But really, he's just trying to control this reclaim field. See both players on Team 1 laying huge minefields here, so can't get any run-bys here on the top side of the map. Dolphy's entrenched himself in the bottom right side of the map, and I don't think Side knows about this minefield just yet. He loses a couple tanks to these mines. So many mines going off. And that's going to force Snide to retreat, so Dolphy keeps that bottom right position, and that's going to give Team 1 a definite mass advantage here. We can take a look at the statistics again. Looks like Team 1 sitting at about a 10k mass advantage so far, 16 minutes into the game. And both teams are kind of pressuring. We see how much of this map is actually going towards Team 1. You can take a look at these player views here. Team 1 has over 50% of the map for now, and are moving into Team 2's side of the map. Meanwhile, Team 2 struggling to defend their locations. You see Dolphy's moving into the top right side of the map, trying to shave off some of the economy of StarDoM. And is he going to get into the main base? He's turning his army around, so he's trying to put some pressure on StarDoM's main base. Kind of catches him out of position here. Is he going to continue moving forward? Looks like it. So he's this build power, all these solar collectors are definitely at risk. We see he's targeting these construction turrets. We see 3 of them go down, 3 more going down. So a lot of the build power getting cleaned up in StarDoM's main base. Meanwhile, in the middle side of the board, we have a lot of action going on. Looks like Team 2 is trying to push their opponents back into the middle side of the board. See a lot of mines going off. A huge T1 army here, and that's not the best trade for StarDoM. You got to pull back. Kind of moving into superior tank counts. Looks like these forces were finally cleaned up in StarDoM's main base, but we have another small contingent of forces finding their way into the main base. Gonna end up taking out this metal storage, perhaps. Yeah, so that ends up going down. We have more solar collectors, perhaps. And still this engagement's going off in this middle side of the board here, so looks like Team 1 got control of this little reclaim field here. We can see just how much reclaim is sitting in this area. Another 5,000 mass going to Team 1 if they want to camp that reclaim field. Finally, this run by is going to get cleaned up. Is that going to go down? Yeah, so that last grunt finally goes down in the main base of StarDoM. See just how much damage Team 1 was able to get done inside this main base. So many of the construction turrets go down. A lot of solar collectors and mass storage. And that's going to prevent StarDoM from replacing his standing army. You see Dolphy is expanding to this bottom right side of the map, so he's adding on some construction turrets. I'm wondering what his plans are there. Try and do a little sneak attack against Snide's main base. Still have these T1 armies going at it. You can see how much of the map Team 1 has control over. StarDoM lost a lot of his eco here in the top right. Snide is just kind of boxed into this little kind of quadrant here as a starting location. And we see Team 1 stepping forward. A lot of tanks going at it. These missile trucks are going to be going down. These not as tanky as the medium tanks. They kind of got pulled in front of this retreating army here. So those high value, high range units are going to end up going down to these T1 tanks. And looks like Dolphy's rotating south a little bit. Just trying to put some pressure on our green player here. Meanwhile, his teammate, Scapegoat, trying to posture with his T1 army. He's trying to find some damage here. It's going to force StarDoM to move down to defend his teammate. And is his commander exposed here? He ends up cloaking. I'm not sure if Dolphy knows about that commander's position. Take a look at these player views. Doesn't really see so much with those radar signatures. Ends up pulling back. See a lot of grave robbers trying to clean up this reclaim as fast as they can. So great job using those T1 grave robbers to soak up this mass for your team. Just see how efficient they are at reclaiming these units here. And it looks like StarDoM's army is a little out of position, so Scapegoat's kind of poking forward. He's got a lot of pounders out here on the map. Nice unit composition here from StarDoM. He's trying to do his best to res these units. We see a little pack of grave robbers here. Going to be microed back out of harm's way. And it looks like Team 1 is grouping up their army. You have so many tanks here for Dolphy. 31 medium tanks. And all these grave robbers are going to go down. So not what you want to see. Dolphy's pressing forward. Moving into the pounder fire. Kind of retreating with his army. Doesn't want to take an engagement just right yet. He's going to retreat back to his teammate. And we have a lot of shurikens here out. Trying their best to contend with Snide's army here. Not sure if can these medium tanks shoot those shurikens? I think they can. It looks like Scapegoat's finally pulling the trigger here. He's pushing forward into Snide's base. He's looking for that commander. Not sure if he knows where it's at, but it looks like all of Snide's main base is going to end up going down. I think this game's close to ending. We see, meanwhile, Dolphy's main army pushing into StarDoM's main base. Getting a lot of damage done here. Taking out the production once again. Is this factory going to go down? So close. It looks like StarDoM found the commander of Snide, so he's dropping down in health. He's going to get any D-guns off. Goes down. Wow. So, pretty cool game. Hope you all enjoyed this cast. If you like seeing these 2v2 matches, if you like seeing more team games, let me know in the comment section. I'll be sure to cast some more of them for y'all. So, see you in the next replay. Thanks for watching.